Hello, welcome to AGCAT's webinar Prime on BIM Navigator. Today we're going to speak about libraries, Revit libraries, and the Revit projects and the parameters, parameter management, equalization of families, and quality control of your projects. My name is Jacob. I'm working with AGCAT and we're creating solutions for BIM acceleration, and we're reducing stress by eliminating tasks that do not create value. And today I'm going to present you a software for quality inspection and management of models. It is called BIM Navigator. It is combined of two tools: a smart browser for management of the families outside of your project, as well as a BIM tree manager that stands for parameter management inside of your project. So I don't want to speak about that literally, so just jump into Revit and let's check what do we have there. So right here I'm having a project, as well I have opened tools for BIM doc, where you see the BIM Navigator and two different features. The first one is Smart Browser Manager. So inside of this tool we're having all the tools for management our content. So the content is placed somewhere on our computer or a server, and we are reading the information about all the families that we have. So right now I'm having several XML files where I store my information about structural, architectural, and MEP families. And these families can be located, as I told you, on a server or just simple on your computer. So currently what I have here is all my families with a folder structure. Like architectural families, they are stored like this. They have folders, subfolders, etc. As well MEP side, like electrical, mechanical, and plumbing, and as well we're having a structure that is divided by 3 different folders. How do we see everything inside of Revit environment? We can go into one of these XML files where we read the information, and on the left side we see the structure of our families. So right now I see the families accordingly to the category. If I would like to see families in a different way, for example, to see everything by folders, I can ask the software to make that, and I can browse through the folder structure. So I see the furniture, beds, chairs, shelves, sofas, tables, as well sites like bins, logistics, etc. I can go and browse everything by a version of the family. So I have such families in my pocket. As well, I can go and check the host types. So it's really good one that I can check the host, because sometimes it's not very clear from the pictures what kind of family do we have: ceiling based, point based, wall based, I don't know, face based, any type of the family basement. So in this case, we can easily navigate through our family libraries, and we can find all needed families by different rules. If I select one of the families on the bottom of this table, we're gonna see all the parameters that are possible to see from the Revit environment. So we don't have to open the family to reach the information about those families. We're just browsing through right here, and we see all the information like this. As well, if the family has the type catalog or just simple types inside, we can see those types straightly here. As well, if we would like to have that family in our project, we just choose a type and load a type. So this means we're loading only one type into the project. As well, if we would like to have the whole family, I mean all the types of that family, we can load the family into the project as well. That's really easy workflow to gather the families and to get the information about them. Choose a right one family and load that into the project. As well, if you need to review those families in the 3D environment, the software is connected to the 3D DWF readers, so you can easily check how the families look like. As well, what we can do, we can easily change the views, so I can check the family from the front view, from the plan view, from the back view, etc. Yeah, so that's really good one. If you cannot find the family just easily like this, we can go with a search possibility. So we can search for the family by a family name, by a family type, parameter name, or the version. Let's try to do that with family name. And I would like to find the car family. Yeah, so I get the police car right here, and I get all the parameters about that. So this is just an example for you. As well, I can go with the versions, and I can ask, okay, I need the families that are made on 2018 version. And once again, I'm having two families that are made under this version of Revit. If I choose, for example, parameter name, and we have to write like a material, so I'm just writing the contain some words, some letters that that contain inside of the parameter name, and the parameter value, once again, that contains wood. And I can find all elements that have the parameter material and that have the information about wood. So yeah, I use the material and the wood right here from the parameter value. So we're having different possibilities right here, like contains, equals, is not equal, does not contain, begins with, etc. Using these searches, we're looking for the families inside of our libraries. How does it look like? We really just stored the pictures, 3D DWF files, as well the XML file that contain the whole information about the families. And right here you can see that we're storing everything as the just as a text file, and we know every parameter of every family. And yeah, so after the manager found needed families on his libraries, like let's say we need several doors or several windows, maybe this door and this window. The manager can easily modify the family. So the requirements are like this. We have to write the modification name. It's, for example, number 1 modification. We're writing who modified our families. So the whole company members are gonna know who modified the families, as well short description. Add parameters, maybe delete some families, equalize parameters, etc. And some notes if you need them. After this is done, the software is opening you all the possible parameters of your families. We have the possibility to load up really all the parameters that are in one of the selected families. And right here you see a color map of each of the family, and this means that we're having some different types of parameters. On the top you can see that we're having several colors, and like this parameter is that parameter, this parameter is a family parameter. This color means that we don't have a parameter inside of this family. This one is a shared parameter. What do we have else? Yeah, like here we're having the parameter that is determined by formula. So you can see easily all the families and all the parameters and the parameter values straightly in something like the Excel spreadsheet. On the left side, we're having a possibility to browse, to navigate through the project for those families, the project browser or a tree. And we can do some configuration for the trees. Right now it goes like category, family, and type. So we're having window category, a family, casement 3x3, and some of the types are written here. And if I select one of the families in a tree, the family is filtered in a table as well. I can add any amount of these parameters by selecting the parameters from this table, so I can choose and sort the elements in different ways using this this grouping configuration and of grouping possibility. After I found my needed families, like I would like to work with only windows that I selected. I would like to write new manufacturer of this element. So I'm using the right mouse button to do some modifications. Here are all modifications what you can do. So I will go through all of them. Like what we can do, we can change the value. So we can write the manufacturer, and all this information gonna be put into all the families that are in this list. What we can do else, like we can copy value. So we can just choose one of the parameters that are already loaded to this table, and we can copy it and paste it to another column. As well, we can use rename family. So right here I'm having Lithuanian name of the family, and I would like to rename this family to window 123, let's say. Okay, and this family has a new name. It is written already here, and you see here you see a green color. That means we changed the value. Yeah, so we can modify the families, we can modify the category of the elements. For example, this door is under the category of the door. If I select them, I can modify the category, and the tool is giving all the possible categories from Revit. And if I say, okay, let's make this door to be a window, the category of the family will be changed, and immediately it is placed under another kind of category, just straight in this tree, and immediately you're gonna see here in the table that we already changed the category of it. We are able to delete the family. We're gonna delete it from our library, but not from the folder. So it's gonna be visible in a folder, but you never will see, or your colleagues will see them in your libraries as well. We have some create subcategories. I don't want to go deeper there, but we can select some subcategories from the text file, and we can push those subcategories into the families as well. Right here we're having tools for working with types. So what I can do, I can go and add the type. So I'm adding a type name like 1000 by 2100 millimeters, and as you see, every 5 steps I'm getting the notification what I already did to the families. So these changes are saved, so you're quite flexible to get back anytime if you need something. And this line is my new family type, 1000 by 2100, and I'm looking for the parameters to be changed. Yes, and where do I have? Yeah, it's a width. So a width was 1000, I guess, and somewhere should be height. Yeah, and the height is 2100. So right now I'm having exactly my needed window family. It was a door previously. Afterwards, I made it to be a window, and then I added a new type. Yeah, so we can rename types. We can rename types by rule. This is, by the way, one of the favorite features in this tool, like rename elements by rules. And we're taking a rule like window rule. Just write height x width and plus millimeters in the suffix. Then I click OK. It's gonna check for those parameters, like for the width and height. As you can see, all the families are getting really good type names. By the way, the tool is working both ways. It is working on imperial system and the metric system. So that depends which project you open. If you open the imperial one, your main unit's gonna be imperial. If you open the metric one, your main unit's gonna be meters or millimeters. Yeah. What else? Delete types, but that's not very, that's the same as delete the family, so it deletes the type from the family. And we came to some parameter, additional parameter creation. So what we can do with those, we can easily add shared parameters. So I'm just choosing for the shared parameter file, and it shows all the parameters from that particular file. I'm just selecting some of them on the right side of this. I'm telling, okay, this parameter is instance. If this checkbox is not turned on, that means the family parameter is going to be a type. As well, I'm able to choose one of the parameter groups under which I'm going to put all my new parameters. After this is done, we're just clicking OK, and in the end of the table, you're going to see that we have a new color, and the new color means that we have new shared parameters. And you see that all of these families has like a service, approval host, approval comment, top, bottom, offsets, something what you need. As well, we can add a simple family parameter. So I'm writing like COBie's new parameter, and once again I can choose the parameter group, parameter type, and is it instance or a type parameter, and everything gonna be pushed into the families once again. Yeah, so after this I can easily change the value and write something inside. And as I told you, every 5 steps I'm getting the notification that okay, we made such changes for the families. And every 5 steps I can get back, so it's like a back button, back and forward. So I don't have any parameters in the end, and right here I'm having all the parameters in the end. Okay, so that's like a backup of your work. Every 5 steps we're pushing this information. What's more about the parameters? Usually our customers, they would like to equalize the families. They would like to have like a classification in all the families. They would like to have something here similar in all the families. And yeah, for example, I don't know which one we can take, like a function. Okay, like this family, it has a type parameter function, and these all the rest families don't have it. What I'm doing, I'm just going and adding a selected parameter. So it's gonna check what kind of the parameter it was, under what parameter group it was placed, and what kind of units it have. And everywhere we can just easily change the value to zeros. So in this case, we can equalize our families. Yeah, well, what do we have else? Like rename parameter, modify parameter, and remove parameter. Yeah, if we have already the parameter, we can rename it. Instead of function, like a special function. And this parameter gonna be changed in the families as well. Yeah, what else we can do? We can easily modify the parameter. So what kind of modifications we can do? We can change from the type to instance, from instance to types. As well, we can change the parameter group. And for some reasons, we can remove parameters if they are needed. So we can just easily remove those parameters. Yeah, but once again, it shows that we have deleted parameters. And if you delete some constraint parameters, that can impact your family, so make sure that you're doing that correctly. And yeah, so after this, yeah, one more thing right here, it's formulas. Like the formulas are shown in such yellow color, and we have like this parameter is equal to width plus 80 mils. If I'm going to modify this information, instead of 80, let's check 100. And after this is done, the information here gonna be a little bit different. As you see, the formula is different, like width plus 100 mils. That means not right now we are doing some calculations about this, but we are doing when we push information into the families. After you finish your job, you're just saving the final XML file, and you're closing this dialog block. And we're just closing this one, and we're going to run saved modifications. That means we're gonna open the family and push all the needed information into all the modified families. Now I'm running that. I have this XML file. I have lots of them. So you see, you can go You can perform the modification not immediately, but you can get back after a while. And you're going to see the name, the date, and yeah, after we open this, it is opening the family. As you see, it is opening the family from the old version, and it's gonna save in the current Revit version your families. Yeah, in the meantime, it is loading. I would like to speak about the company X that has 100 of Revit users. So right here, we already spoke about the Smart Browser Manage. So it can manage the parameters, it can see the parameters, it can load the families into the project. In the meantime, we're having special browsers like a power user and a simple user. What is the difference between them? The difference is that we're having a power user that can load up new families into the project, that can load up new families into your library. And the simple user, he can just use the families and see the parameters. He can just drag and drop the family into Revit environment, and that is all. Okay, I heard that we already finished, successfully finished with those things. And if we made some bad things for the families, you can review what kind of problems. I guess that's the problems that we deleted something from the family. Anyway, if you go back to the Smart Family Browser and you take a look at for example, Windows, we see that door is pushed into a new position instead of doors. It is appearing under the window category. As well, we added some special parameters like a type comment, AGCAD. Just COBie's new parameter 1, 2, 3. So everything is pushed in the families. So as I described to you, if we go to the simple user that can only take a family and load it into the project, and we're gonna take that family, immediately it's gonna see all the parameters, and he can go and load this family into the project, like load type or load family. And the family is loaded into the project, so I just push that like this. That's easy. That's really easy. And the power user, well, what is the difference between simple and power? That the power user can load new families into the library, as well he can go and check and update the families from library. So this is the project that we've been working, but during some period we made changes for our library itself, and we have to exchange new families with old families, and we have to choose the XML file of our families and start checking. And it shows what kind of modifications were done for the families right here. New type, new type, new type. And we can override parameter values or not, and we're gonna reload everything into the project. All the families were reloaded into the project. So this means all the information about our doors, our things are just changed. Yeah, and then we come to this place. When we come to the project, I usually get the question about system families. What about the system family management? And here we come to the BIM tree manager that is capable to read the information of the whole project, and it is capable to work in a kind of similar way as the browser do. It allows you to check the different categories that are used in the project. So let me just take a ductwork, for example, and it's reading all the ductwork and it's loading the table for you. On the left side, you're getting the same tool for filtrations. Right now I'm having rectangular ducts, radius, elbows, and if I select something here, immediately you're gonna see that the things are changed in the project. So in the middle, we're having a table where we can add or remove some special columns. We can just drag to the right side, and all the parameters going to be visible in this table. And let's just, let's change the comment. and I can change the value and write some new values in any parameter that is available. And let's take one of these. Scroll a bit down and you see the parameter is loaded immediately into your project. So you don't have any, you don't need any synchronization. It is automatically transferring the data between this table and the Revit model instantly. Yeah, on the left side I have several different possibilities of filtration. It's really good that the tool is capable to read information about linked files, about work sets. So let me just load up a new category. Like I know that some of my mechanical equipment, they are placed in the linked file. Let me show you that. Yeah, so all those fan coils, they are placed in the linked file. As you see, I cannot modify the parameters of them. They are grayed out in Revit. That's why they are grayed out in our table. But anyway, we can see, we can check the parameters. We can make some notes or something. When the families are in the current project, we can do some modifications for them. Because as you see, the colors, they are different. They are not grayed out as the linked model elements. Yeah, and the configuration right here, it's really good one, because we can see the information in really different ways. Let me show you several of them. For example, I'm taking ear terminals, maybe electrical fixtures, maybe doors, maybe windows. That will be a really interesting example for you. So I'm getting all these categories, all the families from these categories in the table, and I can make a table for the future. So I can make a configuration. I would like to see a space name, space number, a category, type, and a name. And when we go, for example, to corridors, we see the corridor number, and inside of this number we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different elements, and those elements are doors and windows. If I'm going to another, I see doors and windows. If I go to just a salon or something, I can see that I have 2 ear terminals, and yeah, so the system name is a supply and return. So I see everything about the elements that are inside of those rooms. And right here we don't have a space name. Why? Let's just take a look here. Yeah, so those are the windows that do not connect, or somehow they are not related of any room, because let's check from the floor above. We don't have anything here. We don't have any space or any room. In the meantime, on other rooms they already have. So what I wanted to say, right here we can get the information like a room book, and we can export the Excel spreadsheet. But as I know, the room book is capable to work only with furniture systems, etc. Our tool right here, it can show you all the categories of your rooms or spaces. We're having a special calculation, so that means the families don't have to have a room calculation point. Imagine you have like 1,000 of families. You have to open each of them and make that pointer where to calculate the room. And our tool don't have. It just calculates where the family is. We're having lots of calculations under where you don't see. Yeah. Yeah, so you can filter in simple Excel spreadsheet. So after you found some needed information, you can do some modifications. So you can change values, you can copy values. For example, let's try to see everything by categories. This is my favorite one. I see by categories, I go into the families and types. Okay, I select this one or this one. I see the elements. Maybe I need a level as well. That's really good one. Yeah, a level first, please. So I can go to the level first. I can see all the air terminals and I select one of the types. And you see that all the families are CRL100S, and I can change the type. It's going to show you all the possible types and I can exchange the type. Yes, you can do that in Revit. You can do the same in Revit, but it's easier. But because you can modify them straightly from the table. Anyway, if you select the elements right here, and you're gonna take a look inside of the Revit, those elements are selected, so you can easily change the elements from here. It's more about the selection. It's more about the filtration, not about the tool. What you can do from the right side. But sometimes we're having like electrical fixtures. Okay, we have some fixtures here. Let's take a look where they are. Yeah, they are here, and we would like to exchange them, but we don't want to lose any information. So we have replace element with mapping. I mean, I can go and change into another family, but I just want to get, for example, voltage. So I'm taking the voltage and I would like to map it to the previous family switch voltage, or like the elevation parameter I have. Yeah, default elevation. Let's map it with a default elevation. So in this case, we're exchanging the family. Okay, it's another host. Yeah, so the hosts have to be the same. So we are exchanging the families from one to another, but we're transferring the information. So that's really good for LOD increments. If you increase the LOD, the geometry, but you don't want to lose any data about the elements, so you can easily do that. Yeah. What else we have here? Let me just close and show a bit model information. So right here I'm having some families, and the families are nested. So I can select Unistrut, I can select the Trimble calculation point. For example, lots of our users are using this tool to sort and mark the elements. And okay, let me select all elements in the entire building. Run the BIM tree manager for selected elements, and we're having parameters. So what I can do, I can select the column and I can use a new sorting and marking feature. So I have it prepared for you, but the idea is that we can give unique number by the instance ID and start the numbering, for example, from 0x and 0y directions. And then when we combining that, we're getting the final result. That is all the markings of each of the elements. They are different. And okay, let's just look like this. I'm gonna take a look inside of the model. So right here, this is my first element. Let's look from the top. It started calculating like this, from the left bottom corner to the right top corner. And we can check. So this element is first, this element is the fourth. Why? Because this element is the second and this element is the third. Because we are trying to find the element on X first and then on Y first. No, sorry, on X and then on Y. And as well, okay, I'm gonna just remove those two things from here. Yeah, and what we can do else, we can calculate the elevation of the element, and we can calculate the coordinates of the element. So usually this is used for Trimble points to get the drilling, exact drilling information. So I can select from the calculating elevation to calculate to the top elevation, the bottom elevation, and I can calculate from shared coordinates, project coordinates, and the level coordinates. If I select this one, it is asking me, where would you like to put this information? So I'm creating a new parameter under the identity data, and all of them gonna be calculated. Once again, if I select the whole column, I can easily add a shared parameter, X and Y coordinates, let's say, and gonna be under identity data as well, text and instance. We created a new parameter, and we have to calculate the X and Y coordinates of this element. So I'm selecting all the elements in this table, and I go to calculate this. Once again, the same idea: start or end point, start point, midpoint or end point from the shared coordinates or from the project coordinates. I need the midpoint from the project coordinates. So I'm gonna calibrate my Trimble total station, and I'm gonna get exactly the same coordinates of the element. And I can minimize this, and I can go to the first mechanical floor, check this element from annotations. Let's spot the coordinate. Yeah, so the coordinate of this element is 14934 and 4434. Exactly the same coordination as I have. So I can export this this table into the Excel, and I can push it into Trimble total station or any other total station, laser total station, to get the information about that. Yeah, so that's really amazing that we can get everything as parameters. As well as the parameters, we can gather information about the host, about the room, and about the space. Let me show you. Let's try to create another shared parameter, like extra data, and we're gonna put it under identity data, and it's gonna be a text file. Yep, and all of these selected families, they have this information, so I can select them all, and I can copy. If it is hosted, I can copy information from host. If it is in a room, I can copy information about the room, like room name, for example. Yeah, so these are not in rooms, and these are inside of several rooms. So once again, where we can get information about the space, like a space name, space number, etc. Yeah, so that's really good. When I close this table and I select one of the elements, that information is exactly in the family. So yes, you can do that in Revit schedules, but you cannot tag this information. You cannot use that infiltration or something. Revit is giving you the possibility to schedule the information if the family is having something like room calculation point, or how this called. Yeah, I even don't see that here. Maybe it's not possible, even not possible for this kind of the element. I remember that the air terminals, they're having this possibility. Yeah. So even if you have a structural connection, you cannot calculate the room point. Yeah, so that's only the example. So you can work in a different ways and in different situations using this tool. One more idea where I sometimes use this tool. For example, this family is having a parameter of the length, but for purchase, I usually add like 10% because my guys on the site, they are cutting and we're doing some, I don't know, 10% loss on each of them. So I'm adding a schedulable instance reporting parameter into the family. I'm loading that back into Revit, overriding. Okay. I override that, and I can use the calculations, special calculations, as a parameter value. So I'm gonna just show you what I'm speaking about immediately. So I add 10% of length for each of the family, and I put that into the parameter. Once I use that for radiator heating, because by the regulations we have to add 15% per each radiator. So I just put so I just calculated the room heating load, and I added 15% to that load. There are various ways to calculate something. Okay, let me take this, select all elements in entire project, and BIM3 for selected elements. And here we have a unit strut length right here. This is a new parameter, length parameter, and what I'm doing, I'm creating a new shear parameter, like unit strut length plus 10%, and that's gonna be I don't know, what should I use here? Maybe a number, instance, and identity data. I usually use the identity data, don't know why, but it's I usually use that. Okay, and I'm selecting the column, and I'm going to calculate values. So right here we're having calculations. Like inside the families, we have the possibility to use any kind of function. So right here we're having the same, like sinus, cosinus, round up, round down, tangents, etc., plus minus. Yeah, of course they are inside, but the idea that you can calculate the unit strut length plus 10, or the space heating load plus 10%, or cosinuses, sinuses, etc. So this is how we do management. We do management for the families as well. We can do management for Revit libraries, and that's all from my side for today. And I just want to mention that next week we are launching our thank you offer for you guys. Thank you for BIMing with us. And yeah, it's Christmas. Actually, it's Christmas promo. So don't forget to try our software. The software is placed in the Tools for BIM doc, so you get 14 days trials, you get all the updates and more. You can find it in our webpage, so it's www.aga-cad.com. Just download. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me directly or our support team at support@agacad.com. And thank you for your time. I'm waiting for the questions.
AGA CAD, building BIM together.